Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video we're going to be discussing why I do believe that there is a major Bitcoin breakout which will be following into a major Bitcoin rally coming over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be laying out exactly why I believe this in today's video, but as you can see here on the chart, Bitcoin has been constricting in here. Volatility has been dropping off. We've been in this consolidation pattern where Bitcoin has been setting higher lows and making lower highs for the last couple of months, and that is coming to an end. That is coming to a climax, and Bitcoin is about to break either this uptrend of support or this downtrend of resistance, and in this video I'm going to be explaining exactly why I believe it's going to be the latter, and Bitcoin is going to break a bullish and begin a new rally from here, which I believe will bring us to, at the very least, $7,400. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Bitcoin is currently trading just a little bit under $6,600. In yesterday's video, I was talking about why I believe that we were going to be getting above this level, and I still do think that we're going to be getting above this level. As you guys know, this video is recorded a little bit before it goes live, so go check your charts and see if we're above $6,600. I personally think if you do that, then we're going to be above it. If we're not, what is most likely going to happen, in my opinion, is that Bitcoin is going to come down here and test this uptrend of support, which we defined in yesterday's video, which you can watch in the top right if you're interested, and then we'll come up and get above $6,600. I do believe in the next 48 hours that we will be above that level of resistance and be moving north. But before we continue on with today's technical analysis, let's go ahead and do the crypto market recap over here on CoinMarketCap. Just like in yesterday's video, there's not a whole lot to discuss here, so we're going to be brief, but overall Bitcoin is trading just a little under $6,600 depending on what exchange you look at. Overall, it is trading just a little bit under there with a daily volume of around $4.3 billion. Absolutely nothing to write home about. Like I say in just about every single video lately, that is pretty normal, and a lot of that comes from the fact that Bitcoin's basically just been trading sideways over the last couple of weeks. Really not a lot of price action coming in, but Bitcoin is down by about 0.5% over the last 24 hours. Likewise, not really that big of a deal because that kind of coincides with this sideways price action that we've seen. The altcoin market is doing all right with Ethereum and XRP up about 5%. If we sort by change over the last 24 hours, we see two double-digit gainers in PivX and Redcoin, and we also see Eternal Token being the biggest loser at around 10% down. If we scroll down here, the altcoin market is pretty evenly split. Like I said, guys, not a whole lot to discuss on CoinMarketCap, so let's go ahead and get back into the main part of Bitcoin's technical analysis. Now, there's a lot of things I want to get to in today's video, so I'm going to be laying out my case and laying out my evidence for why I believe that Bitcoin is going to be staging a breakout, and also why I believe that's going to be leading into a new rally before I get into the actual theory of that in the first place. There are a couple of different things I need to bring to your attention to actually lay the foundations for my argument, and that is the fact, one of those facts anyway, is that Bitcoin over the last 2 months or so has been consistently making higher lows, and that is a very big deal. Like I linked in the top right, I mentioned that in yesterday's video. If you watch that video, you will see that I mentioned that Bitcoin has been making consecutive higher lows for the better part of the last 2 months. We saw Bitcoin make a low over here at around $5,750 in late June. We also saw a higher low over here in mid-August, and we've seen higher low after higher low since. And in fact, what we've seen is not only has Bitcoin been making higher lows, we've actually been making even higher lows away from the uptrend which we could draw with those higher lows. So as we can see here on the 4-hour chart, what we saw was this uptrend right here was vaguely defined something like that. We saw a low, a higher low, another higher low, another higher low, and these two recent lows in the last couple of days have actually gotten so bullish and so far away that they actually haven't even had to come all the way back down to that uptrend which I just showed you. As you can see, we didn't even come all the way down here, and we've set a new uptrend in motion, an even steeper uptrend, an even more bullish uptrend, which is a very interesting pattern indeed, because like we talked about in yesterday's video, like we talk about in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy linked in the description, and like I talk about in many different videos, one of the biggest ways that you can define what a bull market is and what a bear market is by whether or not the market is making higher lows and higher highs, or lower lows and lower highs. And the fact of the matter is Bitcoin is still making lower highs. I think that trend's going to break, but the fact of the matter is also we've been making higher lows, which is one of the components that we need to see Bitcoin moving back into a bull market. And I think a lot of people are underestimating how important that is. That is a very big piece of information when we're doing our Bitcoin technical analysis, and it is indeed a very bullish thing because we haven't seen Bitcoin have to come all the way back down and get support at $6,600 anymore. It has managed to get support without going all that far down over the last couple of months. That's a very bullish thing. Let me point your attention to something else as well. If we come out here to the monthly chart, I believe it's on the monthly chart, and we look at one of our favorite technical indicators, the 20 EMA. Guys, I have a dedicated video to the 20 exponential moving average in the course because it's that important. This is an extremely powerful indicator, and like I say in every video, I go really in depth with it in the course, but I'll be brief here. The 20 exponential moving average is one of the most powerful indicators that I use on just about every single interval when I'm doing my technical analysis, and the monthly chart is no exception. And there's something very important to look at here on the monthly chart when it comes to the 20 exponential moving average for Bitcoin, and that is that we haven't gone below it. And that seems like a very simple thing, but it's actually a very powerful thing, because if we come back here to the bear market here in 2014 and 15, what we saw is that when the 20 exponential moving average actually started getting plotted here, because this market only goes back about this far if we were to look at Mt. Gox, and for some reason Mt. Gox kept trading, which it didn't. If we were to look at an older chart, my point being, then we would see that Bitcoin was at this point above the 20 exponential moving average. But over here, an interesting thing happened. We got above the 20 exponential moving average. And while we were in the accumulation phase of this bear market in 2014 and 15, we were below the 20 exponential moving average, which means being above the 20 exponential moving average is a very bullish thing. And we've continued to set a level of support on the 20 EMA, on the 20 monthly EMA, time and time again here in 2018. We haven't gone below it. If we go below it, that'll be very bad, but we haven't gone below it. We've managed to stay above it, and that is a very important thing. That's a very important thing, because this is one of the most important indicators in technical analysis, in my opinion, at least one of the most important moving averages, perhaps I should say. The next thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Bitcoin's price action has been coiling in, volatility has been dropping off, the market has not been seeing as major swings, and we've basically lost so much volatility that Bitcoin isn't even making rallies or downtrends anymore. It's basically trading sideways, and that's a very interesting thing as well, because what we've seen here for the majority of 2018 is Bitcoin has had downtrends, rallies, downtrends, rallies, downtrend, rally, downtrend, rally, downtrend, rally, downtrend, rally. And then if you zoom in over here to more recent price action, that trend just kind of evaporates. It hasn't been happening here in the month of September. Bitcoin's been trading sideways. And one of the reasons, in my opinion, that that's been happening is because Bitcoin is in this consolidation pattern wedged in between this uptrend of support right here and this downtrend of resistance right here. And you guys know I'm a big fan of consolidation patterns. And the reason I'm a big fan of consolidation patterns is because almost always when you break a consolidation pattern, you see a big bit of price action come in. You see a very large major price movement, and that's what we're talking about in today's video. I do believe that when Bitcoin comes over here and it breaks this downtrend of resistance, which I think it will be breaking the downtrend of resistance rather than the uptrend of support for many different reasons I've laid out in this video and others, I do think it's going to be very bullish for Bitcoin. What I think is going to happen here over the next couple of days is that Bitcoin is going to continue to rally here. It's going to get above, or it's going to stay above, I should say, the 20 exponential moving average here on the daily chart. And we're going to come up here, we're going to break $6,600, and we're going to start moving up towards this downtrend of resistance and $6,800. From there, if we manage to break that, I think the next level of resistance is going to be somewhere around the 61.8% Fibonacci level. If we drag this out, somewhere around $6,900, give or take a couple of cents, we're going to see Bitcoin getting resistance there. And from there, I think Bitcoin is going straight to $7,400. Why do I believe all this? Well, I've showed you a couple of different technical reasons. I'm about to show you some more, but one of the other reasons that I believe that we're going to see Bitcoin moving up from here is simply because not only are the technicals looking bullish for Bitcoin, so too are the fundamentals. We've talked about the technicals looking very bullish for Bitcoin. We've talked about how Bitcoin's setting higher lows. We've talked about how Bitcoin's above the 20 EMA. I have a couple of other things I'm about to talk about as well, but we also have to think about the fundamentals, because the fundamentals are very, very important. And one thing that you have to remember with the fundamentals, or one thing, or my opinion anyway on the fundamentals, is that the fundamentals right now are very bullish. I do believe the fundamentals are very bullish. I believe a lot of the bearish news, a lot of the FUD news, a lot of the bad news here that has led us into this bull market, or excuse me, into this bear market and continued this bear market has mostly evaporated. I think most of it's gone, and I think most of the news that is now in the cryptocurrency space is very, very bullish. One of the things that we've seen recently is that these altcoins have been popping off like popcorn kernels. We've seen many of these altcoins just moonshot. Like I've said in a couple of other videos recently, Ethereum has done very well over the last month or so. XRP ran 108% in one day. Bitcoin Cash ran 27% in one day. These altcoins are popping off, and I think it's time for Bitcoin to do the same. Not only do we see the altcoin market doing rather well? For a change, we haven't really seen the altcoin market do as well here in 2018 as it did in 2017. We also see a lot of fundamentals as it relates to regulation and adoption and development for Bitcoin doing very, very well. We see things like Bakkt coming. Bakkt is going to be launching in November. November isn't that far away, guys. The Bitcoin ETF is going to be decided on whether or not it's going to be accepted, denied, or delayed, I believe in December, definitely by the end of the year. Actually, I believe it's by January. Let me correct myself on that. By January, they're either going to accept, delay, or deny the Bitcoin ETF, but the fact of the matter is they're going to make some decision on the Bitcoin ETF in the next 3 or 4 months, and I think that whether or not they accept it or deny it is going to be good for Bitcoin. Now, why do I say that? I say if they accept it, that's going to be perfectly fine. If they deny it, then that, I should have said if they delay, it's going to be good for Bitcoin. If they delay it, I think that's also going to be good for Bitcoin because it means that they're not denying it. If they deny the Bitcoin ETF, that's going to be bad. But what you have to remember is that BACT is coming, and the Bitcoin ETF, whether or not it gets accepted, I do believe that one Bitcoin ETF is going to get accepted sometime here in the next year or so. The horizons look very, very good for Bitcoin. We've been in a bear market for a very long time. We've shaked all the weak hands out of the cryptocurrency space. At least I think we've shooken most of them out, shaked most of them out. We've gotten rid of most of the weak hands in the cryptocurrency space, and a lot of people that were going to exit the market have already exited the market. Like I said, guys, there's a lot of different things I can talk about here. I can talk about how the price of mining is sitting just a little bit under $6,000 on global averages. I can talk about all the institutional money sitting on the sidelines looking to get into the cryptocurrency space. I can show you 20 different technical indicators as to why I believe Bitcoin is going to be moving up from here. But in my opinion, I think the majority of this bear market is over, and I believe the beginning of an accumulation phase at worst or a bull market at best is coming in the next 3 months. I've talked about for the last couple of months that I believe that by quarter one of 2019, we're going to see a new bull market kicking off. And based on the technicals and based on the fundamentals, what I've just laid out for you, I believe the beginnings of that might be coming sooner than we expected. What I think is going to happen here is that Bitcoin's going to break up above $6,600 in the next week or so, probably in the next 3 days or so, actually, because then we'll be hitting this uptrend. And then we're going to be coming up here, testing $6,800 and moving up. If we get above $7,400 and if we get above this 200 daily simple moving average, Bitcoin will be, in my opinion, in a new bull market, and we will see what happens from there. Tell me in the comments section down below how bullish you guys are on Bitcoin. Are you guys looking for a new bull market to be starting soon? I'm not exactly saying that a new bull market is going to be starting soon, but what I do think is going to happen is that in the near future, Bitcoin is going to be breaking this downtrend of resistance and then have a potential to be moving into a Bitcoin bull market. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I think we're entering a bull market yet, but what I do think is going to happen soon is that we're going to break this downtrend of resistance, and it's going to be major for Bitcoin price action, and we're going to see a lot of bullish price action coming back into the market, which could very easily send Bitcoin up here and breaks this this simple moving average of the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart and continue the bullish pressure that we've seen kind of build up in the this kind of bullish tension that we've seen building up over the last couple of weeks and that I can really feel. I think that it's going to be coming to a head in the next week or so. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think about that. There's one more thing that I want to show you, actually. I believe it's on the monthly chart. If we come out to the, actually, there's two things I wanted to show you, actually. I wanted to show you the MACD on the weekly chart. I almost forgot about weekly MACD, because what we've seen on the weekly MACD is likewise very, very, very important, because what we've seen here is we've seen a bullish cross. As you can see, the MACD line has gotten above the signal line on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. Let me show you the last time that happened. The last time that really happened was back over here, right back over here in March of 2015. And what correlates to March of 2015? Well, I'll tell you what correlates to March of 2015. The end of the Bitcoin bear market correlates to March of 2015. That's the last time we saw a bullish cross. Now, of course, we did see a little bit of fake out trading here. We saw a little bit of trading here, but actually, if you look in here, this happened after the kind of major bull market has started. The last time that Bitcoin has seen a bullish MACD cross while below the histogram was right back over here in the beginning of 2015, which correlated with the end of this bear market and the beginning of the accumulation phase. If we're saying that the Bitcoin bear market ended right about here and then this is the accumulation phase, that's when that actually happened, and that's what we've just seen, is a bullish cross at the end of a bear market. Like I've said in other videos, you can watch the video that I did on this in the top right. I think at a worst case scenario, Bitcoin is entering a new accumulation phase, and at best case scenario, we're looking at a new bear market coming in the next 2 months, or excuse me, a new bull market coming in the next 2 months. Let's not get our words twisted here. I believe that we're going to be seeing something like that. Another thing that I want to point out is Stochastic RSI on the monthly chart. If we look at Stochastic RSI, we're sitting down here deep in oversold territory. You guys know Stochastic RSI likes to bounce around between extremely overbought and extremely oversold, and right now we're looking at an extremely oversold territory in a similar fashion to what we saw back over here in 2015 when the bear market was wrapping up. As you can see, we were in this accumulation phase down here, and then we started to get a little spike up here, and based on how long we've been down here, I think we're probably going to see in the next 3 months or so this start curving up, and the only thing that can cause that to curve up is a new bull market. Really, we're not going to see it start curving up with anything less than a new bull market. So like I've said a couple times, guys, tell me in the comment section down below what you think of this video. What do you think of this technical analysis? You guys could definitely leave your opinions in the comment section down below, and I will be getting back to you. I do read every single comment. Also, if you want to talk to me in person, there is a link to join the Discord server server in the description down below. We have a lot of people in the Discord server, and we have a phenomenal community, and I would love to see your lovely face over there. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.